If you've ever thought about taking sildenafil or have already tried it, you need to know exactly what happens in your body minute by minute. Because what most people believe is not entirely true. Does it increase sexual desire? Does it cause a heart attack? Does it really work as they say? In the next few minutes, I'll reveal the truth uncensored. We're going to go through each stage of the process together, from the moment the pill enters your body until it disappears completely. So stay until the end because I'm going to tell you about the most surprising effects and the risks that almost no one mentions. Let's start the countdown, because sildenafil is already in your body. The first thing you need to know is that when you take sildenafil, you won't feel anything at all in the first few minutes. There's no immediate change, no sudden burst of energy, and no instant increase in desire. And this is a common mistake. Many people believe sildenafil is a sexual stimulant, when in reality, it's not. What actually happens is that the medication starts breaking down in the digestive system. It comes into contact with stomach acids, dissolves, and begins to be absorbed through the intestinal walls. Once in the bloodstream, it travels throughout the body, but its effect doesn't activate on its own. Here's a crucial fact. The speed at which it works depends on what you ate before taking it. If you took it on a full stomach, especially after a fatty meal, the process slows down. On the other hand, if you took it on an empty stomach or with something light, absorption is faster and the effects kick in sooner. Approximately 30 minutes to an hour after taking it, sildenafil reaches its peak concentration in the blood. But here's the interesting part. If there's no sexual stimulation, you won't notice any changes. It's not like flipping a switch, it's more like having a backup ready to go. Now, if there is even minimal stimulation, even if it's not very intense, the response will be much stronger than usual. Many men describe that in situations where they wouldn't have reacted before, with sildenafil, they experience a much quicker and firmer response. This happens because there are two key areas in the brain responsible for sexual arousal: the paraventricular nucleus of the hypothalamus and the medial preoptic area. When these regions activate, they send signals to the spinal cord, which then directs messages to the blood vessels in the penis, triggering vasodilation. Sildenafil enhances this process by making it easier for blood vessels to relax, allowing more blood to flow in and making the erection quicker, firmer, and longer lasting. But that's not all. One of the most interesting effects is that the time between orgasm and the next erection, known as the refractory period, significantly decreases. In other words, if someone normally needs more time to recover, sildenafil can shorten that time considerably, allowing them to get back in action faster. This is something many people don't know, but it's one of the reasons why some men use it even if they don't have erectile dysfunction. For some, it's simply a way to enhance performance and prolong activity without having to wait too long between encounters. For several hours, sildenafil remains in the bloodstream, keeping its effects active. But this is where it's important to talk about the side effects. Since it's a vasodilator, it doesn't just affect the blood vessels in the penis but also those in other parts of the body. That's why some men report side effects like headaches, facial flushing, nasal congestion, or stomach discomfort. One of the most curious side effects, although it occurs in a small percentage of people, is a change in color vision. Some describe seeing everything with a bluish tint. This happens because sildenafil also affects an enzyme in the retina that is involved in the perception of the color blue. It's not dangerous and fades over time, but it can be surprising for those who aren't expecting it. Now, there's something you should know about the safety of this medication. For years, myths have spread claiming that sildenafil can cause heart attacks or sudden death. However, scientific studies have shown that in healthy individuals, its use does not increase cardiovascular risk. However, if someone has pre-existing heart conditions, very low blood pressure, or takes certain medications like nitrates, using sildenafil can indeed be risky. That's why it's always essential to consult a doctor before using it. After approximately 6 hours, the medication starts to leave the body. The liver metabolizes it, and it is gradually eliminated through urine. Its effects fade, and the body returns to its normal state. So, after learning all this, the question is it worth taking sildenafil? When used correctly, it's an effective and safe tool. It's not a magic solution or an aphrodisiac, but it can make a difference when there's a medical reason behind it. Now that you know how it works, you can make a more informed decision about its use. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. If you found this information useful, give it a like and subscribe. Here, we talk straight about science, health, and topics no one explains properly. See you in the next video.